Like loving, just outgoing, do anything for anybody, anywhere, always smiling.
Dietrich Lohman is mourning the loss of his aunt and uncle, Denise and Greg Doran. He tells us they were two of the three people shot to death inside this home near 61st and Shelbourne this morning. And he's not alone. Peter Narcisse has lived next door to the Dorans for about a year and remembers the kindness Greg showed his family.
Every Sunday, man, after church, he knocked the door. And when he knocked the door, my son always know, Daddy, the neighbor is there. And some donuts, so my son not gonna have no donuts no more, man.
Another man who didn't want to appear on camera says Greg was a frequent sight around the neighborhood.
Always in this great spirit. He speaks, beeps his horn, says hi to everybody. Nice guy, never had any issues at all with him as a neighbor.
Neighbors were shocked to see the flood of police around the home this morning and saddened to hear of the Dorans' deaths. Narcisse says he heard the shooting and called the whole incident scary.
I got 4 kids inside the house and me and my wife, and 4 in the morning and decent couple shots, and I've been next door, so I don't know what happened.
I find that devastating. It's hard to even wrap your brain around the fact that family in this time is doing things in that nature.
Just before 5 a.m. on October 2nd, Philadelphia police were called to a home in the 6100 block of Shelbourne Street in Philly's Lawncrest section for reports of a shooting. Upon entering the home, they would locate the bodies of an adult male and 2 adult females in the front room.
3 people were shot and killed inside a home in the Lawncrest section of Philadelphia. A 4th victim was rushed to the hospital and was able to talk to police. Action News reporter Catherine Scott joins us live in front of the home on Shelbourne Street, where this happened about 2 hours ago. Catherine?
Matt, police remain on the scene here. 4 people were shot inside this home early this morning. 3 of them have died. Police spoke to the surviving victim on the way to the hospital, who said she knew the gunman. In fact, he's a relative.
We received a radio call for a person with a weapon. We were met here by a female who had sustained an injury, a gunshot injury to her face.
This home in this corner remains taped off at this hour. This happened shortly before 5 a.m. Police called to this home on Shelbourne Street near Lardner in Lawncrest. Investigators say 3 people were shot and killed inside the home, including 1 man and 1 woman. The circumstances remain under investigation, but we're told police are looking for a 42-year-old man in connection to this, behind the wheel of a blue Honda Pilot with Pennsylvania plate LKF 3375. Police say he's a relative. There's no word yet if police have been called to this home for domestic incidents before. It's very early in this investigation, and they're still trying to learn more.
The victims were identified as husband and wife, 63-year-old Denise Snead Doran and 61-year-old Greg Doran, and 42-year-old Nina O'Brien, who were all sadly pronounced dead at the scene after succumbing to multiple gunshot wounds. A 41-year-old victim was also shot and taken to a local hospital for treatment and remains in critical condition. During an interview with investigators, the surviving victim was able to identify the suspect as her own brother and son and stepson of Denise and Greg Doran. The suspect was identified as 41-year-old Jihad Snead. As of right now, police have yet to release his photo. Based on the information from the victim, police began searching for the man who left the shooting scene driving a blue Honda Pilot. According to Interim Police Commissioner John Stanford, officers located the vehicle shortly after 7 a.m. at East Phil Alina and Ross Streets in East Mount Airy. Officers said they were originally responding to a wellness check and saw the suspect's Pilot as they were leaving the scene. Police say they observed a female driver in the Pilot alongside the male passenger whose seat was reclined back. When officers confirmed the Pilot was the same one involved in the triple homicide, the car was pulled over. The driver sped off, prompting police to pursue the SUV. The car was forced to stop when a police cruiser made contact with the Pilot's rear bumper. Once police stopped the vehicle, the female driver exited as an officer then ordered Snead to exit the passenger side door. Snead then fired 1 shot at the officer, prompting him to fire back. Although the officer wasn't shot, he did suffer a cut to his hand from broken glass. A 9mm Taurus handgun was also located in the passenger seat where Snead was sitting. By 9 a.m., Snead was taken to Albert Einstein Medical Center in critical condition, where he died just a short time later.
Tonight is new information on a quadruple shooting early this morning that later gave way to a deadly shootout with Philadelphia police. It all began just before 5 a.m. today. A gunman shooting 4 people, 3 of them his own family members, inside his Lawncrest home. 3 of the victims died here. The 4th, though, was able to convey the identity of that shooter to responding officers, who then tracked him down some 2 hours later. When the man fired at police, they fired back, killing that suspect. Action News reporter Maggie Kent live at police headquarters tonight. Maggie, we just learned more about the victims in this.
Yes, we did, Brian. And that 4th victim, as you mentioned, the one who survived being shot in the face, was apparently the shooter's own sister. We're now learning more details about those who were killed, and now the name of that shooter who was killed by police, Jihad Snead.
I can't put that even in the words that undeserving, and I just can't wrap my head around how this played out in no way, shape, or form.
Family members can't understand why someone would shoot Greg and Denise Doran inside their Lawncrest home. They say it hurts to know the person responsible was Denise's own son, now identified as 41-year-old Jihad Snead.
I would never think that we would ever be standing here talking about his mother and father right now, who he personally murdered.
Police say the shooter murdered a 3rd person inside the house and turned the gun on his sister, shooting her in the face. She was able to tell officers what happened.
We don't know what's behind that or what precipitated this individual killing folks that are related to him.
Just after 7 a.m., it all ended here at East Philhelena Street and Ross Street in Mount Airy. When police tracked down the car the suspect was riding in.
It's believed at that time that the suspect inside of the vehicle fired one time at the officers. Officers returned fire, striking the suspect inside of the vehicle.
Snead was killed. The driver of the vehicle was taken in for questioning. These flowers now sit outside the home, a representation of grief, a token of remembrance.
These are happy people. These are happy people, like church-going happy people. And that wouldn't hurt anybody. Like, so to be so personal like this is crazy.
I'm just overwhelmed. I just really in shock. I still can't believe it. I would never think this would have happened so close to him and to them. I mean, never no trouble here.
According to police, the female driver is now being questioned. It is unclear if she is connected to the quadruple shooting. Officer Betts, a 6-year veteran of the police department, is on administrative duty pending the outcome of an internal investigation. A motive has not yet been determined, and the case remains ongoing.